All right. What is going on, everyone? It is Jack. And today, I know I'm a little late, but we are finally back with The Walking Dead Dead City. It is the San Diego Comic Con teaser trailer. I know it's not the official trailer, it's only about a minute, 16 seconds, so it's nothing crazy, but I've heard that people enjoyed it, so I figured I'd check it out regardless. I don't know if I'm going to do a massive video on it or not. We'll see. But honestly, eh, I I might just put both of the trailers that dropped in one video, being this video, just to cut back on editing and rendering. Yes, I've been watching House of the Dragon season 2, don't worry. It is in the process of going up on Patreon. I'm watching them live. I'm still trying to get through season 1 with the gracious help of my editor. So when all of season 1 is going up, you can expect season 2 to follow immediately after. So be on the lookout for that. I know it's been a minute, it's been a hot minute, but some of these renders, they were starting to take, 2, 3, 4 hours, and that just what I wasn't able to sit here long enough for that to take place for the most part, and it was crashing, and so I just had to back up a little bit, reevaluate, do some stuff and things. But we're back, and we're going to be checking out these two trailers because they should be good. Now, if you're new here, I do have a Patreon. I do watch a lot of other shows. Starting to check out movies too. There's a huge catalog of stuff on Patreon, and there's a lot of stuff that is on there that is in the process of coming here. I did see some casting news for Dead City that my man Sam from Atypical is going to be on Dead City, which is awesome because I have reacted to Atypical. Again, it's one of those that I'm in the process of scheduling and queuing up the remainder of the episodes. I finished reacting to it a couple years ago, but it's one of the shows that's been kind of getting queued up and unlisted for a minute, but it's there. And I'm actually really interested to see his role in this. I hope he's not just brought in there and just killed off randomly really quick. That's going to really bum me out. I know that Kim is in here as well. I love Sons of Anarchy. I wish I was doing reactions back when that show was live because I watched the show live and I love Sons of Anarchy. So it's going to be very interesting to see his role in it as well. And I'm looking forward to the potential darker storyline that's going to be coming with, I believe the actor's name is Logan, the older Herschel now. I remember that there was an interview a while ago that he said that he's going to be having a bit of a darker storyline, and which I'm here for because I think the kid is an amazing actor from what I've seen so far, and we haven't seen too much of him, so I'm very interested to see where that goes as well. If you're not new here, though, you know how I felt about The Ones Who Live. Was not nearly as common of an opinion as I thought it was going to be, and that's all right. You don't come here for parroted opinions, so I felt how I felt. If you want to go see that, go right ahead. I'm kind of hoping Dead City and Daryl Dixon save us a little bit though, because for the people that don't just want ships and romance and stuff, I'm kind of hoping we can get some bigger world stuff and some more variant stuff and some new things that we haven't really seen yet. And since any threat that the CRM posed is pretty much gone now, and I know people are getting mad and being like, well, when I was saying the CRM is basically done or is gone or whatever, they were like, well, the CRM is actually not gone. And I'm like, okay, any kind of threat that it would have posed initially is gone. At least that's what we're led to believe. So that aside, I'm kind of hoping that what we're getting here and then in Daryl Dixon 2, that we get some more of something. And given that the episode numbers aren't super large, they gotta hit us. They gotta go back. Like, if they learned anything from the good parts about The Ones Who Live, it was keep stuff going, don't go too fast, but I'm just hoping that we get some bangers here because I love Dead City so much, and I'm praying they'll get some good shit. So, say without further ado, let's check this trailer out. Probably going to do little to no edits with this. Just throw it up. So here we go. I do have the captions on in case I need to see some stuff. Right.
The old world was rigged.
Oh, Maggie doesn't have her necklace.
Designed to rip us apart.
God, Darlene is so creepy.
That was the world of the dead.
Negan. Oh boy, do I have a feeling we're getting close. Oh, he is owning that shit now.
I know what it means to go back to Manhattan.
Okay, the fuel stuff. Looking forward to that.
Almost everything.
You wanted Negan dead once.
Oh my god.
Now you want to save his life.
Ooh. Flamethrowers. Love that. Did he just yeet Lucille?
It's different now.
Oh. Okay. That really was not much at all to go on. Let me mute it real quick. I'll go half speed. I'm not gonna go through the entire trailer. Oh, see, I just fixed this. This scene was messed up on OBS and it was irritating me so much. Okay. So there were a few things I kind of wanted to look at just real quick. There was a lot of black screen. That was kind of a bummer. Love the imagery here. Him walking like dragging Lucille. It's very horror movie-at, like the dragging of like a body. You know, I like it. I like it a lot. Ooh, hold up. Actually. Oh, nope, that is not what I meant to do. Okay. It should be fine. Whatever. So I do have my Lucille up on the wall. I didn't feel like taking it down because I need to get better looks on there for it. But so it looks like he's going up to a stage to try to talk to all these hoodlums, which is going to be interesting. And this looks like a more barbed wired up version of Lucille, which is cool. The smirk is there. I feel like he missed some aspects of the theatrics for sure. God, the imagery of Manhattan. Like, we really haven't stayed in a big city that has fallen, that people have retaken much, which I love. I love the look of that. I do think it's interesting that Maggie's not wearing her ring necklace anymore. One of the things I was very interested in was the like any sort of walker experimenting that was going on, but the turning walkers into methane and like fuel and stuff. And that was something that they brought up at New Babylon at the end of last season. So that'll be really interesting to see what they do with that, because that's, you know, something new that we haven't really had them talk about much before. Maggie doesn't look to be doing too great there. Some sort of like Daenerys shit with the heart and potentially munching and crunching. Cage fighting again. That's interesting. Is that like a Last Supper kind of oh my, is that Kim at the head? I think that is Kim at the head of the table. Hold on. Yeah, I think that's Kim Coates at the head of the table. That's amazing. This group could prove to be very formidable, depending on how they are brought together. But we gotta see what their goal is, because New Babylon, it seemed like it seemed kind of CRM or Commonwealthy in that, like, they're like, oh yeah, things are great, but really, are they? And they weren't really, because they were a little too strict sometimes. So I feel like the wolves in sheep's clothing are almost more dangerous than the people that are just straight up wolves sometimes. Because at least the ones that are straight up wolves and like kind of showing who they are right from the jump, you know what to expect. But people that are kind of hiding their intentions and their motives, they're almost more dangerous. So it's going to be interesting to see the role that New Babylon plays, as well as like the Marshals, and also how this group that Kim Coates, or gang that Kim Coates is supposed to be leading or a part of, is going to factor in. So I'm interested to see that. Negan using Lucille again. Does that graffiti just say sex? I think it does. It's great. Little girl. I'm pretty sure Ginny. I'm not sure how I feel about it. It was an interesting little bit for Negan's character, but I hope that they address the wife stuff, because I feel like they just kind of used that as a plot point in the main show and then just wanted to drop it, which is kind of cheap. That's like the one main critique I have, is that even though the reason he gave was justified, I kind of wish they addressed it a little more. Like, these guys like beat and SA'd her and robbed her, and so Negan killed him, as any husband would, probably, I would hope. And so then he was like, okay, they're going to come after me. I don't want them coming after you. So you go here, I'll go here. They'll keep coming for me and leave you guys alone. That seems logical to me. But people are like, oh my God, he's abandoned. No, it's logical. You just hate him. Just say you hate him and move on. Cool new weapons. We got some little like handheld flamethrowers and stuff. And what is this? So Negan's like yeeting Lucille real hard. Now I'm wondering if he's doing it at somebody or what, and I love that, the way that he walks into frame here and then she comes out from the pillar. Gonna be very interesting to see the conversations these two have, because Jeff and Lauren are such good friends and they play off each other so damn well. It's amazing anytime these two are on screen. So as long as they don't just harp on the same cycle of, oh, I can't forget, as long as they don't do that, I'm so pumped for this. Those aren't teeth and bones on the rim of the cage, is it? I don't know. That's kind of weird, kind of creepy, and I kind of love it. Okay, so that was the Dead City one, and now we are going to check out the Daryl Dixon one. Before this one, though, I want to be very clear with everybody, mainly for those that are new here, but for those that are not new here, you know where this is going, you know how I feel about it all. These two characters. First of all, Norman is not Daryl. Daryl is not Norman. Melissa is not Carol. Carol is not Melissa. Clearing that up now. I've met Norman at a con before. He's great. Super chill. Have not had the pleasure of meeting Melissa yet at a con. She seems lovely. But at a certain point, both of them became infuriating for me to watch. And I know it's like, oh, but they're the default best character for it. I'm not going to go on I could go on an hour-long discussion rant about all that. But if you want to see my thoughts and feelings on these two characters, I've been doing reactions to Walking Dead stuff since season 7. I was very new to doing stuff back during season 7, so I think I only have a third of my season 7 reactions up because the rest got messed up when I was trying to do them. But from season 8 onward, I got every episode. So, and to be fair, Tales is on Patreon. I didn't even bother editing to put Tales on YouTube yet. If people really want it, I'll do it, but I did not like Tales. So, but these two, I have gone through so many emotions with the way that I feel about them and the way that they're written. Daryl, he was kind of, I feel like the way that the show wrote him, and Carol too, drastically changed when they had that big bump in popularity and budget between because season 1, 2, and kind of 3, the show was still pretty niche and it was kind of like a cult following kind of thing. But 4, things really started to kick off, and 5 too. And 4, I could tell that they were kind of forcing him to the forefront and making him a celebrity in the camp, and he was going out and recruiting people, but making the whole thing with Patrick at the beginning where he's like, oh, thank you, sir. It felt weird, and I got the sense that they were starting to give him storylines that he would not have normally had. And being a comic fan myself, and I know people are like, oh, well, the second they hear comic, they're just like, whatever, and disregard opinion. But a lot of really crucial and important storylines and arcs and moments for other big characters were given to him, and it then in turn diminished the other characters to prop him up. And I understand from a marketing perspective, he's a very marketable character and person for the show, so I get it. But I think that made him feel like less of a real person and more of like a crafted character for the fans. And I don't know, it always bugged me. And they kind of grounded him back down a bit, season 5, 6-ish. I liked the opposition that he had with Rick. Like, he wasn't afraid to voice his opinion if they were different from Rick, and I liked that. I love that, to be honest. And then after the end of season 6 and the beginning of 7, 7, obviously, everything happened and he was, in the prison cell for a couple days. And yes, it was a couple days. I know my timeline. Don't test me. It was a whole thing. And then in 8, he was one of the most infuriating parts about season 8, other than the Carl stuff. And I, like Carol even, everyone loves her chameleon stuff that she was doing in Alexandria in like season 5 and like beginning of 6. I hated it. I hated the way that she was manipulating the kids and other people and just putting on the false persona. And yes, I understand it from a survival aspect. It's a good skill to have, but I did not like it. And I really, from that point on, honestly, like I was here for the whole, like she was having trouble with the killing. She wasn't really an aggressive person at the start. She kind of was just like forced into that. And I wasn't crazy about her in 7. 8, it was a little better for me. But then 9, I was a big fan, or not big fan. 9, I didn't mind Carol much. Then 10, oh my lord. 10, she dropped to like bottom of the barrel, can't stand her, get her out of here. So much so that it, like in the season 10 finale, when she was like leading the walkers off the cliff, I'm like, if you go to, it's fine. And I could not stand the character of Carol then. And I know I was like bouncing between Daryl and Carol. After Rick left, I started liking Daryl a bit more, and I was like, okay, it's not terrible, whatever. But then during season 11, both of them, they got a bit better. I was annoyed with the way that they were kind of treating Negan, though, for a while. But in terms of the Commonwealth storylines, I think both of them played, very important parts, and it just kind of fit. But now, like the whole, like Leah stuff and Carol trying to tell Daryl, you got to move on, about Rick and that always really bugged me too, that she was like, oh, you need to, that whole sort with the Leah and the cabin and the flashbacks and all that shit. Not the Leah part, but the part that Carol was telling him he needed to like move on and shit. And now Daryl is going to look for Rick. And we don't know if Rick is what was said on the radio. I would think if Rick was said on the radio, Carol would probably lead with that or sound more excited. Maybe I'm not. Maybe she doesn't care about Rick. I don't know. Or maybe they didn't think that far ahead. Who knows? But I was not crazy about the Daryl Dixon first season. I thought that the visuals were stunning. The set location, beautiful. Not the main issue I had. The variants, cool. I don't think they really did enough with the variants, but I liked that they were doing something with them. The whole Messiah complex thing and all that with Laurent, not a big fan of Laurent. I'm hoping that the character becomes more tolerable as we move forward, and the whole Messiah thing is just kind of dropped, because that is such just I want to tune out kind of storyline for me. And I was happy when Daryl and Carol finally split and separated, because those two together, as much as simps and stans want them to be together, they're never going to be together. And I'm not budging on that. They don't work very well together. They have an incredibly toxic relationship. Again, I can make a whole video about this, and this video is already getting long, and I'm ranting a lot about this, but I'll put timestamps so if you can jump right to the reaction if you want and skip all of this. But for the people that are new, I wanted you to know these two aren't necessarily my favorite characters, but I understand the difference between Norman and Daryl and Melissa and Carol. I get that. That being said, let's hopefully see some more variant stuff. I was going to say, but before The Ones Who Live, I was hoping to see some CRM ties between Daryl Dixon and Dead City and like CRM, and it was gonna be like a whole thing. But again, the threat of CRM is gone. The threatening side of it and the problematic side of it gone. They dealt with that apparently. So maybe Morgan can show up in one of these. Maybe Dwight and Sherry. Dwight and Sherry, I think we're going back to the Sanctuary, so never mind. But Carol, if this is just like a repeat of The Ones Who Live, where it's like Carol trying to find Daryl, and it like shows them like eventually like meet up, and then it's like, okay, how did she get here? How did he get, like, I'm gonna really not like that. So I've kind of, I don't really have anything else that I want to see from Carol at this point. Not a ton else from Daryl either, except him getting together with Connie. I wouldn't mind a reunion between Rick and Daryl, but I feel like the fact that they rush the reunions in The Ones Who Live, I almost don't even want them anymore, because I'm like, if you're going to handle them like that, I don't want them, because that's going to come off really shitty. So unless you're going to flesh them out, don't do them. But they're already talking about like 3 and 4 seasons for this day, so I don't know if they're just going to have him hopping from continent to country, whatever, just finding random variant walkers. If that's the case, cool. Or maybe Carol is going to find him and be like, hey, Rick made it back. He's good. He's missing a hand, but he's good. And Daryl's going to be like, okay, and then just leave. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is, but I'm hoping that it's worth it, because we've been waiting a while for a lot of these. So that being said, without further ado, let's check this trailer out. All right. I'm not going to do my little whoop. I'm just going to roll with it. All right. Do I have it set to... I do not have it set to slow. Good. All right. Captions are on. Here we go.
Daryl Dixon? I heard you were dead.
Not yet.
They're never going to kill
I don't know if this is the place I'm supposed to be.
There's a word in French. Dépaysant. Like a nice change of scenery. Makes you look at things a different way.
The paysan.
I'm looking for a friend of mine. Please help me.
Ooh, I love those types of scenes.
We're
with
talking
like,
about flying a plane
oh, don't pull a
across the
fear.
ocean.
Come on, no.
No idea what's waiting on the other side.
A
This
plane,
boat and I are
really?
talking about the 3 of us going back to America.
Oh.
We'll do everything we can with caution.
Oh.
I wouldn't worry so much about the future.
Oh, jeez.
You don't have one.
All right, bitch.
We have work to do.
Oh, God. Interesting. Oh, are those variants? Maybe. Oh, we got runners. All right.
You do whatever it took to find
Interesting.
him.
We'll keep going. That's what we do.
Ooh, radiated ones?
I should have known.
Oh, she looks psychotic.
I keep thinking about all the people I left behind.
Venom Jr. Yeah, like Rick.
There's my friend.
Wondering if they're still thinking about me.
Maybe. Interesting. Oh, Carol found him. I mean, did we really think that was going to be that big of a surprise? Not really. Okay. I mean, that was definitely longer. Again, I could probably do without the Carol stuff. Not crazy about, unless the Carol stuff's going to have to do with variants. That would be cool. The whole plane thing just gives me PTSD to fear. Again, the scenery and the set location design for this, gorgeous, love it. The walkers that are like coming out of the ground in the mountain, that's kind of wild. Was it like right here? It's like coming out of the ground, and it seems like excuse me. So that's very interesting. Okay, so these are definitely I think that's going to be one of the ways we tell variants, is that they have black eyes, it seems, because I remember normal walkers, like we've seen a lot of eyes from walkers in the main show, but these ones have just straight black eyes, which that's scary. and they're a lot more aggressive. So that's gonna be. Oh, the Mona Lisa. I totally just spaced on that the first time around. And yeah, this seems like, those seem like variants there that our guys send in. So that's gonna be scary. I do hope that season 2 focuses a lot more on the variants, because that was one of the most interesting aspects for me in the first season. So we shall see. Again, I mean, it's Daryl, it's Carol. The plot armor is going to be stronger than anyone else. Now, if Daryl is not going to end up together with Connie and he's going to end up together with someone, let it be Miss Fleur Delacour, because I would like, if they end up making him and Carol get together in the show, you will see the first time that I stop a reaction the second that something happens and don't continue, and that will be the end of it, because that is the no, not even gonna go. Nope, never, not happening. I don't really have a ton else for the Daryl one. It looks interesting. Variants and the irradiated walkers seem very interesting. So let me know what you think about these 2 teasers down below. What you are most excited about for each of them. Again, remember, you can get the full uncut and early reactions for all the shows I watch, have watched, and will watch, and movies on Patreon down below. As always, this has been Jack, and I'm out. Peace.